Now there are lots of reasons for low back pain, but I'm going to talk about one of them and one stretch that you can do for it. And this is a stretch actually not for the low back, but for the psoas muscle. Now what is the psoas muscle? The psoas muscle is on both sides of your vertebrae, really deep down, right along the vertebrae, and it attaches to the leg bone very high up. And it's a hip flexor, it's one of the hip flexors. And the reason it causes a lot of problems is because a lot of people sit all day, and when you're sitting, the psoas muscle shortens. And after a while, it gets used to being short. It thinks it's normal. And because this muscle stays short, it effortlessly now is pulling on the low back muscles, which have to fight against the shortening of the psoas muscle. It's making your low back even more swayed back, and the low back muscles are trying to get your muscles so they're not swayed back, and these guys are fighting all the time and they're losing. Meanwhile, the psoas muscle you almost never feel pain in. You feel the pain in the low back. And sitting all the time just keeps it that way. Now, if your main form of exercise is riding a bike, you're not doing much to or anything to help the situation out, even though it's great exercise. So what I'm going to show you is a stretch for the psoas muscles. And to start off with this, it's a good idea if you have a kitchen counter, because kitchen counters are usually about mid-butt high on most people. And if you have no cabinets above your sink, you can lean back without hitting a cabinet. Now where you want your feet straight under you. You don't want to be leaning against the counter with your feet out. You want your feet right against the back of your heels, against the back of the cabinet, essentially. And then what you want to do is gently lean back and feel the stretch in there. Now, if you have structural problems with your low back, and if you've had surgeries or anything, you might want to consult. You definitely want to consult someone who knows your medical history before you're doing any of this. And if the stretches make you feel worse, don't do them. But for most people, it's just a muscle problem. And again, if it makes you feel worse, don't do it. But you want to gently go back and feel the stretch in here. And you never want to stretch any muscle to the point of pain. You want to stretch it to the edge of comfort. Now, once you've got the feel of what it feels like with the kitchen counter, you don't need the kitchen counter anymore. And this is a stretch you can do. You stand up from your chair at work and just really quickly stretch it out. And as you do this more and more, you may find relief in your low back. Again, there are other stretches for the low back. This is one of them, and hopefully it'll help.